Annette Pye, an elementary school teacher, learned that just taking notes and studying was not effective enough for his 3rd grade class. In an effort to improve this, Annette asked the school for $6,000 in electronic devices. After being declined, Annette and his wife gathered up some money with the help from his wife's employer, and they were able to buy 7 laptops, 2 desktops, 11 Nintendo DS's, and 21 digital voice recorders. To show how effective Annette's method was, I'll let the children tell you themselves.
The September evaluations told Mr. Pye that his students' attainment in language and math ranged from the 10th percentile and below to the 90th percentile and above. He concluded the way to improve achievement is to start where each student is and go from there. That seemed to work.
Miss Money Island, at the moment she's playing a quiz to earn more money, and during the game they teach you about different things. Using your own money wisely and spend it for wants and needs correctly. So it's just about teaching you about money and stuff.
I'm playing Math Blaster.
You're playing Math Blaster. Can you tell the people a little bit about Math Blaster and what it is? What do you learn from it?
You learn multiplication, division, adding, subtracting, and yeah, also you learn a little bit of fractions.
I'm doing types that it has multiplication, and it shows you the first level, then the second level, then you get to go on to a couple more levels.
What are you practicing?
Are you trying?
Addition.
Can you see he's kind of half playing and half talking to you, and he'd really rather be playing than talk to you. To be honest, I mean, this is, his head is in there. Actually, you're doing fractions right now. What kinds of things have you learned playing the game?
Well, that it's not easy to be a president.
The last 3 years, that they can perform not just on par as end of the year math tests say, but they can not even double. Most of them have tripled their performance. That means they're growing 2-3 times as expected.
Are games the key to an advanced future? Most would argue no. But with gamification, they can. What is gamification? Well, gamification can be defined as the application of classic gaming elements, like scoring points to a non-game context. If gamification is making so much progress in classes like Annette Pye's, why are other educational settings not using games? By using gamification, Mr. Pye was able to triple the expected growth out of his 3rd grade class. Not only is gamification impacting all levels of the U.S. education system, but it is making advances in career training and is providing new and innovative mental health treatments. Gamification is a key strategy to developing and implementing training in the 21st century and should be more fully integrated into our society. Good evening. I'm Christian Kapral, and today I'll be talking about how gamification can make a better and brighter future. My panelist today is Dr. David Mulder. He's an associate professor of education at Dordt University. Unfortunately, Dr. Mulder is not able to attend tonight's event. Examples of educational games found in classrooms are Minecraft and Civilization 5. In Minecraft, children build creative, social, and problem-solving skills that they can access over 250 lessons in science, coding, and English. Their teachers can even program more for them to use. With Civilization 5, they are taught world history, geography, economics, scientific and civic progress, and war. However, this game is expensive to run and includes some fictional elements. Brady Fukumoto is an electric engineer, and he also has a Master of Arts in Learning, Design, and Technology. Describe the game as a textbook where 90% of the material is accurate, but 10% is pure fiction. However, this 10% is just how the game is played, such as resources, choices, and troops the children use to advance. Gamification also increases intellect. Doug Bolton, a journalist who writes about technology, wrote about The researchers at Columbia University's Mailman School of Public Health. The researchers at Columbia University studied children from ages 6 to 11 years old. They found that video games were associated with a 70% increase in the odds of high intellectual functioning, and that children who played video games frequently were also found to be nearly 90% more likely to have a high overall school competence. Gamification also increases socialization in schools. Catherine McKees, an assistant epidemiology professor at the Mailman University, said that video game playing is often a collaborative leisure time activity for school-age children. And these results indicated that children who frequently play video games may be socially cohesive with their peers and integrated into the school community. Shirley also did research on effects of video games on children. She interviewed over 1,000 public school students, and she found that video games created a common ground where children can make friends, allow kids to hang out, and provide structured time with friends. She ended with saying that video games don't have to be labeled educational to help children learn to make decisions, use strategies, anticipate consequences, and express their personalities. Not only is gamification an excellent tool for learning in schools, but the experience gained from gamified learning, assisted with virtual training, is essential to enhance careers. To enhance career use, software designers have turned to virtual reality, or is commonly known as VR. In VR, people are able to perform tasks in a digital world that feels like reality. These VR programs improve performance and efficiency in many careers. In architecture, it is used to help save time, because a typical blueprint can take up to 10 to 13 hours to create. And if any mistakes are found, they have to go over the blueprint and fix them. But with VR, they're able to adjust any design without having to waste too much extra time. In the car industry, 99% of the workers who used VR found it to help them work better and more efficiently in their career. VR is also used in stores to help new employees feel more comfortable in the workplace. Because in the first 6 months are very important. This is when they decide if they want to stay or leave the company they have chosen to work for. Current employees use VR training provided scenarios to prepare them for the onslaught of customers and the associated stress that comes along with their career. The military also uses VR to help manage battlefield stress. They use VR gun controllers shaped like an M4 and M165. These are identical in shape, size, and mass. They also go through simulations that are realistic and safer than real life. These improve communication and tactile skills. Medical surgeons use a program called OSSO VR. This program was created by Dr. Justin Barad. He had a background in coding, but after a medical problem struck his family, he started researching into the healthcare system of our nation. Problems that he found with the current method were that 30% of surgical graduates are unable to operate independently. Furthermore, surgeons out in practice have less time to perform the nearly 100 cases required to safely use today's complex techniques and devices. This means that surgeons do not have enough time to practice before their next surgery case. He also found that training hasn't been changed in the last 100 years. With OSSO VR, it has been proven to make surgery more successful with a 230% surgical performance increase. Gamification used in VR not only improves career performance, but also life performance for many people. Over 8 million people are diagnosed with a form of PTSD, which is about 3.6% of the American population. One of the best ways to help with PTSD is with virtual reality exposure therapy, also known as VRET. Virtual reality exposure therapy is used to put patients in an environment that would cause them to have PTSD, but in a safe way. What makes VRT better than other methods? First, it allows the therapist to have almost total control over the situation, is able to be changed to a patient's specific need, and it helps the patient to access their traumatic thoughts without them needing to imagine what it was like, which can be more painful than helpful. A program used to treat military soldiers and veterans with PTSD is Brave Mind. This can be accessed in over 60 sites, including VA hospitals, military camps, and university centers. They use vibrations and smells to help make the simulation feel more realistic. And while in the simulation, the patient is very safe and is watched by professionally trained clinicians at all times. After going through a traumatic experience, some people can decrease their suffering and increase their happiness. This is called post-traumatic growth. With post-traumatic growth, people feel happier, closer to their families, they understand who they are, they feel like they have a new purpose in life, and they are able to focus on their life goals. Post-traumatic growth is used in a phone app called SuperBetter. This app was created by Dr. Jay McGonigal. After her own traumatic experience, she said she wanted to die. She decided that she could either die or turn her experience into a game. SuperBetter helps train people in 4 types of resilience: physical, mental, emotional, and social. With physical resilience, a person's body is able to withstand more stress and is able to heal itself. Mental resilience increases one's mental focus, discipline, determination, and willpower. Emotional resilience provokes positive, powerful emotions like curiosity and love. And if a person has 3 positive emotions for every 1 negative emotion, this improves their health and success rate to tackle any problem they face. Social resilience helps one gain strength from their friends, and a person is more likely to want to help others in their community. Not only can SuperBetter help people with PTSD, but also can help anyone who wants to increase their mental health. People who regularly boost these 4 types of resiliences can live up to 10 years longer than everyone else. With improved student learning, challenge, more efficient career achievement and motivation, improved medicine for PTSD, and better mental health for people, gamification is the best way toward a better future. Gamification is a gift given by God. Jesus presents a parable from Matthew 25. This parable is about how to use our gifts. The parable is about 3 men who were given talents from their master. 2 men multiplied what they were given, but the 3rd man hid it so that he would not lose it. This parable makes it clear that we are expected to make full use of the creative talents and gifts that God has given us. And gamification is one such creative tool. We need to adopt gamification by giving it to our children, using it in our careers, and by advising people to use it if they need or want to improve their mental health. Thank you.
While Dr. Mulder could not be here, he sent you some questions. There are too many for me to read all tonight, but we'll get some other ones tomorrow. First question. Virtual reality has potential to dramatically change what is possible when it comes to educational technology. Are there potential downsides to including more VR in schools?
The only downside I would say is that it is kind of pricey to use these VR systems. They can cost around $1,000 for just a couple, about 2 or even 3. And once you have the program, you still have to pay for the application of student learning games. This is why I advised classrooms to use computer games, because these are more accessible, because most schools already have a computer room available. And these other bigger companies that have more money are more likely to use VR because it is more accessible to them because they have the more money available to pay for these. And so that's why I advise schools to use computer games such as Minecraft, Civilization 5. There's also Jumpstart, ABC Mouse, and there's many other programs out there.
Excellent. He asks a follow-up question. Okay, so if we do use these, what words of caution do you have for teachers and administrators who would be using this technology?
Caution I would give is not make your classes fully about the gamification, because gamification is supposed to be used to help along with your lessons. What Aneth Pai did was he still had some paper notes with his lessons, but mainly used gamification to help give the students the idea of what he was teaching. He would first inform them about what they would be learning, and then he would give them, as for example, some of the games that helped with math. So one child was learning about multiplication, addition, subtraction, and division. And while he was playing the game on his DS, he was also learning a little bit of French along with it. So with using gamification, I would advise still having a lesson plan and using gamification to help the idea of what they're learning be more fully implanted into their brains.
Good job. Thank you for your presentation.